I'm always up for a good arcade game, so let's take a look at a fighting game today. It's the King of Fighters 2002 Unlimited Match for the PC. Japan strikes again with its long names, so I'll just call it KOF 2002 UM or something like that. Now, I have both the Xbox 360 and PC version, but as far as I can tell, they're the same. There's a PS2 release of that as well, but I don't know much about that one. Nevertheless, the footage I recorded for this review is for the PC version. KOF 2002 is a 2D fighting game, and except for the Maximum Impact spin-offs, it's remained 2D since the beginning. I know KOF 14 is going to be 3D, but that hasn't been released yet, so I'll just ignore that for now. There are a lot of popular fighting games like Street Fighter, Tekken, Mortal Kombat, and Dead or Alive, but my favorite series has always been King of Fighters. There have been many KOF games, but the King of Fighters 2002 Unlimited Match is one of my favorites. KOF 2002 Unlimited Match stands out from other King of Fighters games simply because it has the biggest roster of all the games in the series. There are 66 different characters to choose from, so I'm sure a lot of people are going to be able to find characters that appeal to them. You don't have to limit yourself to one character, because you can choose 3. Want to have a well-rounded team? Go ahead and try a few different characters and see what covers all the bases. You've got the usual directional controls, but unlike something like Street Fighter, which has light, medium, and heavy punches and kicks, you just have light and strong punches and kicks. I actually prefer this since it simplifies things, especially if you have to get comfortable with 3 different characters. Each character has a pretty extensive move list. That's what makes this game so good as well. Lots of different fighting styles to choose from, which is great because there are so many different teams you can assemble. I noticed that some characters, like for example Athena, actually have more moves in this game than in later games. Because I'm stupid, I often try to execute a special attack that doesn't exist in KOF 13 and die. I always found KOF games to be more exciting than other fighting games. You can play pretty offensively and there's always a lot going on the screen. The game modes are pretty much what you would expect from a fighting game. There is team play and single play, which are arcade modes with either a team of 3 fighters or just a single one. KOF 2002 doesn't have a story mode, which is perfectly fine. Not like people play fighting games for the story anyways. Endless is a survival type thing where you just try to last as long as possible. In Challenge, you try to beat the opponent in a specific way. The thing about the challenge mode I like is that when you fail, you can retry against a different opponent. Practice mode allows you to practice without the pressure of fighting against an opponent. As usual, you get to set up the opponent to do certain things, or come at you at certain ways to practice different scenarios. Last and least, we have online, which I've never tried because I'm too afraid to interact with people. Of all the game modes, I like to play Endless the most. Just pick a character and fight. When I get bored, I just select a different character. Anyway, let's heel and toe down a gear and talk about the visual aspect of the game. There's one thing that remains constant with KOF games, other than Mai's boob physics, is the use of 2D graphics. I don't find the graphics bad at all, despite being very pixely. I like that you can actually let your imagination fill in the details. It's pretty funny that the backgrounds often look more detailed than the characters. I find myself becoming focused on a particular character or detail in the background because of that. There are some settings you can play around with too. I like to keep the focus on soft, just because the image is slightly harsh on the eyes on LCD screens. The animations seem to be on par with most other 2D fighting games, even today, but it's still not as good as King of Fighters 13, which is super smooth. Before talking about the sound, let's listen to it a bit first. While there is a charm to the low-res sounds, I think it would have been nicer if they were just a little bit better in quality. The satisfaction of landing a hit for me has a lot to do with the sound. It just doesn't really do it for me. On the other hand, the music is very good. I just wish there was more music in the menus. Silence. Not only that, but they're ugly as hell too. If you want to listen to the individual songs, you can do so in the settings. And that's the King of Fighters 2002 Unlimited Match for the PC. It can be found on Steam for a pretty modest price since it's an older game. Just throw it on your wish list and wait for it to go on sale, or just get the PS2 version for extra JDM street cred. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Game over.